Hello and welcome to GailNicholson.com presents Corona Spotlight at Night, an evening with Joey Melotti. Thank you all for joining us. Thanks for being here. And wow, it's going to be a great night. We're doing something completely different, something completely new. And I am so excited to be joined by a good friend and longtime source of entertainment, Mr. Joey Melotti. Hey, Joey.
Hey
Hey, how's it?
Gail, it's going great. I was just like working on this idea,
Yeah.
and I thought maybe I'd share it with everybody.
Go right
Is that
ahead,
okay?
my friend.
Everybody's doing good out there. Well, out there tonight. Good. I'm not nervous or anything.
This is exciting.
I know some of my friends are out there listening. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in.
Tonight we're gonna let loose a little bit. Send out some vibes. It's a new tune I'm working on, and I'll try it out on you, right? Kick out the blues tonight, my friend. Kick out the blues till the very end. Kick out the blues and make the best of a situation. Kick out the blues, make no mistake. Kick out the blues, don't let your heart break. Kick out the blues, cause I'm sending good vibes to you. My rhyme is traveling across the universe. This kind of music can't be rehearsed. Soul rhythm and a primal scream. We get together on the winning team. Kick out the blues tonight, my friend. Kick out the blues till the very end. Kick out the blues. Mighty fine time tonight. I'm looking out my window, I don't see the sun. Get on my phone, I gotta call someone. I sing some fun songs on Facebook Live, hoping all the world can all survive. Kick out the blues tonight, my friend. Kick out the blues, Gail, join on in. Kick out the blues, have a mighty fine situation. Kick out the blues tonight, all my friends. Kick out the blues, very end. Kick out the blues, make it best the situation. We're gonna have a mighty fine time tonight. We're gonna have a mighty fine time tonight. Fine time tonight. Mighty fine time tonight. Kicking out the blues.
Well done, my friend. Well done. And definitely have. I can't smile any bigger. You've kicked the blues right out of my heart today. Yes. I love it. I love it. Thanks, all of you out there that are tuning in. There's quite a few of you already. Rosie, TK, Elaine, Dana. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. As the man says, if the music's good, put a nickel in the fishbowl. So we've put up there a virtual tip jar for you. If you would please consider, if you're enjoying this, remember how much Vegas costs and help along. Joey, thank you so much for joining me tonight and bringing your music to the internet, and doing what you've been doing on Facebook Live by yourself the last few weeks while we've all been on lockdown. So gracious of you, so generous. Thank you very much for entertaining us the best you can.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Denise, Karen, hi. Thanks for joining us. Joey, what do you want to talk about first? That song that you just did, is that on any one of your previously released albums? Is that brand new?
I just wrote it this week, like 2 days ago, and then I put up a little private page, and I was like trying to work some lyrics, and I thought it was, apropos for the time. Just keep the spirits up, make the best of the situation. We're all in it, and we just got to stay positive. That's all.
Yeah.
It's a crazy world. We don't know what's going on. Who knows? But,
Right, right. There's so many versions, 7.5 billion versions of the truth. Is that what they say? You know?
exactly. But the good news is that you're still here. You're healthy. You're happy. I'm doing fine. The family's doing fine, and we're all hanging in there. Valerie, my love, and our 4 children. So we're getting along.
That's
We're
wonderful to
close
hear.
quarters, so we're trying to keep it fun, trying to keep it light. We're not killing each other. No, just
Right?
kidding.
Right. Well, Valerie's a super mom. She homeschools and does all these creative things and everything. Anyway, so I love that about her. And I know that this has kind of put a slowdown on some of the projects that she was doing because she's trying to do the next thing in theater,
Right.
and it's nobody can get together and rehearse. Nobody can do auditions and casting,
Yeah, she's gotten the wind blown out of her sails a little bit because of what the distancing thing, and she was supposed to go to New York, and she was supposed to do a Tacoma, retreat with a lot of the people from New York. So,
Yeah.
so we've been trying to keep each other smiling, and hey, look, it's life. We all have our ups and downs, but
Yeah.
on the whole, we're doing okay. We're making bread at home. We're making meals. We're cooking, and
Well, that's
the kids
awesome.
they'll keep you smiling. You don't know what they're going to come up with next.
Oh, right,
So
exactly, exactly. And you've got a brood of entertainers too, as well, don't you?
yeah, it's Isabella's really coming out, and she's got her own little thing going on, her little style, and yeah, we were just doing a couple songs. One from Coco, Remember Me.
Oh,
We were just
nice.
doing tonight. I was at the piano playing a little bit, and she was singing. So it's really nice to it's nice to have that thing going on with your children.
Yeah.
And the baby, she's got a toy saxophone she takes out, and she's like blowing the saxophone. So I'm playing along with her, and she's a hoot. I'll tell you, she's
That's
3 years old.
phenomenal.
Oh, she'll be 4 in August,
That's
and she's we're doing her letters every day. I'm doing the homeschooling in the morning. I'm getting her to write, and she's really bright. I mean,
she's
well,
gonna take the world by storm, that little one.
tell you,
You
you never
know,
know.
I mean, I had the pleasure of seeing her take over an entire party and have everyone enthralled with her singing "Let It Go," and it made my night. That was she's
Oh, and
she's a
Baby
little
Shark, Baby
starlet for
Shark,
sure.
Baby- yeah,
Pardon me?
Baby Shark.
Oh yeah.
She loves
Oh,
Baby
that's
Shark.
yes, that one. Yeah, as well.
Uh,
Awesome. So it's been a long, long road for you, or a long, good career for you, hasn't it?
it has been a long road. Yeah, just gonna ad lib as I go along. Keep it
I
light.
love it. Do that.
But yeah, it's you know, I started when I was 5, and I cried to play the accordion because my cousin was, we were going over to grandma's house, Nani,
Hmm.
every Sunday. The family would get together, the Italian families, and my cousin was this brilliant, accordion player, and I just started crying. I want that. I want that. Of course, I don't know. Maybe you want everything when you're a kid, don't you?
Exactly. Exactly. They have a
I don't
rock. I want that rock.
So I cried, and they got me an accordion. I took lessons, and I switched over to piano. And it was, I guess, it was in my blood to do this. And a lot of great things have happened along the way that helped me to move in my career. There's a lot involved when if you're a musician, coming up. There's so much that can happen or not happen.
Hmm.
Just depending on where you are, who you know, how you, what choices you make. So
You're absolutely
luckily,
right. And I don't want to get too far ahead because you brought to mind a question that one of our fans sent in. And I don't want to get away from that because Leslie Brecken may be with us right now. I don't see her name. Hi, Terry. Hi, Helene. Um, she's gone to bed early tonight. So she gave us a question about that accordion, actually.
okay.
She said that she knew that, just like another one of our mutual friends, you started out on the accordion when you were 5, and she wanted to know if you still have that accordion. Um,
As a matter
and let me see here. She has a follow up on that.
I do.
Have the accordion, and if so, do you ever still play it, even if just for the kids?
As a matter of fact, I still have it, and I do still play it every once in a while. Matter of fact, my last record, "Celebrate Your Life," last CD, I should say, I actually recorded some accordion on one of the tracks, and
Nice.
it was a lot of fun. Yeah,
Very
and I
nice.
do have. Uh, I don't know. I don't have pictures with me, but if I would, I'd show her. But yeah, still have it, and it says Joey on it. It's got Joey. And matter of fact, my Facebook page, I think there may be a picture of it somewhere. But yeah, I'm like 5 years old with this big accordion on me. It's almost
That's
as big as
brilliant. I
yeah.
wish we had thought to do one of those. Thanks for that question, Leslie. That was a great question. So,
Yeah,
forgive
there's
me for interrupting you. Please do continue. What were you saying? You were segueing into something else?
the road as of being a musician, of making those transitions, and um, just the luck, and being in the right place at the right time,
Yeah.
and knowing, yeah, that's what
Now,
because I
how did you.
never
Go ahead.
what well, when I grew up, because I'm no youngster, um, I did parochial school, high school, and then went to college. And when I went to college, I stayed really close to home because we didn't really have the means for me to go blah blah blah.
Hmm.
But so I went up the street to Southern Connecticut State University, and I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I liked French, so I picked French as a major
Hmm.
and music as a minor. And I did go over to France to study when I was 19.
Nice.
And then I realized, yeah, I was having my doubts. And then I got into a room with a piano, and all of a sudden I started playing, and then I see like this whole room full of people applauding me on stuff. And that's what kind of like turned the page for me. I said, well, this is really in my blood. This is what I want to do. So I got home and just pursued, playing with, bands, and then started catching breaks here and there, and worked out great.
That's awesome. So, what was one of the first like gigs that you remember that really, what I want
Okay.
to say is, made a difference where you knew that you were never going back. You were doing this now.
Well, I joined a local band. First, I had a local band called the Mayflower in New Haven, Connecticut.
Hmm.
So, anybody from New Haven out there might remember that band. John Solomon was the drummer, tremendous black drummer, and we were into the Vanilla Fudge and the Young Rascals. We did our thing. So we did that, and then I got into this other band, and they had a manager, and this manager took a liking to me and got me into New York doing sessions and commercials and stuff. So, and lo and behold, which I didn't know at the time, but he got me a gig doing this Pepsi Cola commercial, right?
A
And it
Pepsi
was called
commercial.
Pepsi. It was called "Feeling Free,"
Uh huh.
and they wanted an Elton John kind of look-alike.
Uh huh.
And I mean, we were all into those. I was way into Elton John and Billy Joel and the
Who
Beatles.
wasn't? Yeah.
And those days, that was 70s. I was doing piano bars and doing all this. Anyway, so I got hired and I went to New York and I recorded this commercial with live. I was playing live and singing. And there's a feeling around. It's America's sound. Pepsi people feeling free. Free to choose a new way. Free to stand up and say, it's been a while. You be you and I'll be me. When you catch that thirst from living, and you know what Pepsi's giving. Pepsi lift, Pepsi gift, for feeling free. Join the Pepsi people.
That sounds so
Feeling
familiar to
feeling
me.
free. Join the Pepsi people. Feeling free, feeling free. All across the nation, it's the Pepsi generation. Feeling free, feeling free. Well, that was a stretch, but
Hey,
we
not too bad. I mean, I couldn't have done any better. I couldn't have done any better.
can't remember. I can't believe I remember some of those lyrics. Anyway, so mosey on down the road, and I find out Barry Manilow actually wrote that commercial.
I was gonna say, yeah,
And
a lot of these people that are watching tonight, are like, yeah, we know that song.
right, I mean, everybody knows everybody remembers the melody and everything, but I never knew, and that was crazy because we were on stage with Barry, and we were doing a show where he was revisiting his past and stuff, and that came up, and I
Hmm.
was like, so I went afterwards. I said, "Hey, Barry, can't believe it. I sang that song."
That is absolutely mind blowing, and I never knew that about you at all. I mean, I don't think many other people knew that about you. That's fascinating.
I think I was like 19, and that was my first introduction to checks in the mail, which was great. I mean, I didn't make a whole lot of money. I'd get a check for a couple $100 here and there, but that was really a lot of, it was, yeah, that was something to be proud of.
Nice, very
And
nice.
we went in the studio with that band, Hawkins Road, and we made some recordings and stuff. That and didn't pan out with that band. And then I joined. I got an audition actually in the mid '70s for Vicki Sue Robinson, who was a disco artist, and she had a big hit called "Turn the Beat Around."
Yeah,
So that was kind of like my first tour running around, doing clubs and concerts, and she was awesome. She's a great singer. And we did Midnight Special and Rock Concert, and all these big TV shows. Merv Griffin, Mike Douglas, and
nice.
that was really
Hmm.
great. And that was mid '70s into '80, and then that ended. Put a jazz band together in New Haven with my buddies Marion Meadows, Artie Dixon, and Paul Spinner. And hi guys, if you're out there, love you. Uh, and we had a great little quartet, and we used to pack this place called the Foundry, and we did a live record,
That's right. I remember seeing that.
which I have here.
Uh-huh.
Is that
Awesome. Now,
is
what
that
was?
visible?
Did you write the music that was on there? That was all original music. Music,
Uh,
correct?
actually,
Yeah.
actually, we had, I think, just we had one, two, three. There was side two were three originals. Marion wrote. I wrote Yamaha
Hmm.
uh, instrumental, and Marion wrote a song called Barbara, beautiful tune, and I wrote a pop tune called Moonlighter. And yeah, Yamaha was like kind of a boss thing. Moonliner was kind of a futuristic disco tune.
Oh, please play us some of that. That's good.
You gotta take me to take me to a state of yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Last,
Absolutely love it. I can
last night,
hear flash in the background.
right, right. Yeah, last night the timeless flight I made, and I met this outer space, but anyway, it was crazy. But
Wow.
it was a hot commodity. I mean, we used to end the night with it, and just goes on forever, and people loved it. So that
Nice.
album was big tri-state success. Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, and Massachusetts, whatever.
Very cool.
Um,
I was listening to some of your clips that are up available on iTunes and on your website, and I really like um, your album called Cleansing. Is that all instrumentals? I only had a chance to zip around through a few, but I really liked what I heard.
oh, thank
Yeah,
you. Yeah,
absolutely.
that I did that in the late '90s.
Hmm.
And yeah, that was primarily instrumental. And had some really sweet stuff, some really nice tunes. Some kind of it's bordering on. There's one vocal tune on there called Wild One. Yeah,
Wild
that
one.
was really nice. Yeah, it's you were always a wild one. Never thought you would settle down. Always running with a fast crowd. Always acting like a clown. Yeah, it's a nice tune. And some of the other ones were instrumentals. Most of the other ones were instrumentals, yeah.
I like
But
that a lot. So, for all of you that are watching, if you're interested in checking out, you've got like what 4 or 5 different CDs that are available, whether on iTunes or on JoeyMelotti.com. Correct?
correct.
I really like. It's called Cleansing, isn't it?
Cleansing, yep.
Yes, Cleansing. I really like that one for meditation for myself. So if you'd like to go there and get those, we have the link available in the memo of the description of everything. So I really encourage you to go ahead and go do that as well. Now, Joey, I know that you've been both keyboard player for Barry and a musical director for Barry, and that you came and went once or twice, right? So where else were you when you weren't with Barry?
Okay. In 1987, I pursued my solo career like in the mid 80s, and I got signed with an entrepreneur. He had a lot of money, and he sunk a lot of money into me, and we did some major recording in all the big studios in New York, and we had a whole record done. And I did a showcase at the Bottom Line. I had my own band. We rehearsed. Everybody was getting paid to rehearse, so it was a really great band, and we got really close to getting a deal, but we did not get a deal. And after a couple of years of that, I just got kind of burnt out on the whole thing. There's a lot more involved than I want to talk about, but after that, I kind of went out and started working with other people. I worked with Felix Cavalieri from the Young Rascals, who
Nice.
was one of my idols. He had a band, and we did his thing. And then I worked with Ricky Lee Jones. We did a European tour. We went over to Scandinavia with my good friend Jeff Pivar. Jeff was in one of my original bands when I was trying to go after my deal, and then he had to leave because he went with Ray Charles. And so we got so much talent in Connecticut. So many. Ron Lawrence, another guitar player,
Hmm.
Al Caldwell, bass player, Joel Rosenblatt, who's went on to play with Spyro Gyra. All these great guys. At any rate, Jeff said, "Hey, Ricky's going out to do this concert for you. So you want to do it?" And I said, "Great." So I went. We went out, and we had a great tour. We actually the tour ended. We came home, and then I got a call. We're going back out. I
Hmm.
was home like 2 days. We're going to Israel. We're going to open up for Ray Charles.
Oh wow.
So we were out and opening up for Ray Charles, and that was really cool because I got to sing one of my songs as the opening act. So that was really great. And I met Ray, and we had a great tour. After that, I came home. I was working on a record with uh, with my good friend Marion Meadows, who I talked about before. That was in the quartet. He was producing a record for Norman Connors, who is a drummer, but
Hmm.
he produced these multi-act records, like kind of like a Quincy Jones type, where he'd have different artists doing different songs. And we wrote the title track. So we were at Capitol Records in LA,
Hmm.
and I invited my really close friend Vic Vanacore, who was Barry's MD during the 80s, and Vic was my mentor. Uh, he was from North Haven, Connecticut. I was from New Haven, Connecticut,
Hmm.
and we were good friends. And he kind of, I always looked up to him. He was always doing great things. Just fabulous musician, great person. Uh, anyway, we're doing the record, so I called him up. He was out in Granada Hills, and I said, "Hey Vic, why don't you come down to the studio? Doing this really cool project. I think you're gonna like it." So he did. He came down. We hung out, and he said to me, "Yeah, I'm leaving Barry, um, and moving on to do some other stuff. But he's looking for a keyboard player that sings. And would you be interested?" So I was like, "Okay, sure. That's sounds great." So they set up an audition, and I went back out to LA a little bit later, and I was doing the audition. Barry obviously liked me. Told me to stay.
Uh-huh.
Like, we're gonna audition some other people, but you stay. I'm like, "Oh." So
That's not something you say no to, of course.
I was like, "Okay, I'll stay." I feel kind of strange. I didn't know that people are auditioning, but I guess I did a really good audition. We played a few things, and then he asked me if I sang, and I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, would you like to sing something for us?" So I sang a song for you, Leon Russell tune, which I just sang the other night, dedicated to my close friend Alan
Hmm.
Oyugi, who had a massive heart attack and passed away. And
So sorry for your loss.
yeah, yeah, he was such a great guy, full of life. We did so many great things together. Anyway, he had a transportation company, Alliance Limousine, and all the big shows that I did with David Guest and all these other people. Alan was always there helping out, donating time and his cars and giving special, doing special things.
Hmm.
All right, Alan, we'll see you someday. We'll catch up later. Um, anyway, we, oh, where was I? Where was I? I think we were
You're
talking about
talking about the audition with Barry,
competition.
and
So, and song for you. So I sang
mhm,
song for you, and I brought a little chart I wrote out for the band.
mhm.
I handed that out. We did it, and I killed it.
Nice.
Sing my ass off, and
No, you're
and
fine.
I did, I did. Anyway, enough for him to say stay, and we finished that out, and then I went back home and I got a call and he said, we want you to do the gig and talk turkey money and whatnot. And next thing I know, I'm back out there rehearsing. Now I knew nothing about really the way his system ran. I was used to kind of a rock and roll vibe,
Hmm.
uh, and oh, this
Oh, I'm so
feedback.
sorry. There is a plane, a helicopter going overhead. I live across the street from a hospital.
Oh, okay.
You
I was
may
just
be able
wondering
to
because
hear that. I am so sorry, everyone.
so, it's okay. So yeah, I was not used to Barry's mode de transportation, mode emploi. Uh, he was like, it was so regimented. Like everything was like written down in schedules, and everything was so, so manicured, so etched out. And like 10 o'clock, 10:15, this song, 10:30, this song, 10:45, pee break, lunch at noon. And
Gets
and
the
when I
job
got,
done though, doesn't it?
oh my God, yeah, no, it was like holy mackerel, man, this is. So I gained like this, my eyes were like, oh.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I'm really lucky to be here. This is just so great, and the band was amazing. you know, Ron Pedley and Bud Harner at that time were the co-MDs. I was just second keyboard player. And of course, I had my own vibe. So I would always offer uh, anything I could, chords or whatever. So we had this thing going where, I'd give Barry these Gino Vanelli chords. He called them, Joey, give me a chord with the pinky, the flatted pinky. It's like, you know, some extension of a chord, that was like involved. So we had that going. We had a lot of laughs with that. So we got to be friends, and that tour went 87 to 90. Uh, and in the middle of it, we had a Christmas break, and I was so Maniloized, if you would like to put it, that I wrote this song, right?
Uh-huh.
And this is such a Barry tune. I mean, that's all I was doing was Barry Manilow material. There's so much of it. I mean, when I went to go rehearse, they stuck me at the Oakwood Apartments, and they gave me like books. Like there was like must have been about 8 these black folders
Hmm.
about this thick, and they were like stacked up. So I'm in the bathroom, with the light shining down on, playing the part, trying to read the parts. There's a ton of music to prepare. Of course, when we got into rehearsal, we didn't do any of that. Well,
Yeah.
all that. We're doing the Big Fun tour. We're doing the Big Fun album now. So we had a whole
Oh,
new charts
jeez.
every
Now
new
hold on.
music.
Don't get away from me here. I want to hear. I want you to play that piece for me, please.
Oh,
The one that that's such a Barry Manilow tune. I imagine everybody else wants to hear it too, right? Girls, ladies, gentlemen.
I should have got the lyrics for this, but let's see if I can. If I can't remember the lyrics, I'll hum the melody. But it's like maybe the moment's not right. I shouldn't down, 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 down. Something is calling me pain. Wait a little longer, just a little longer, just like a dream you were there. All but too soon I fell in love with you.
Are you with me,
How,
people?
how can I say that I'm scared? But I'll wait a little longer, just a little longer. All my love is strong
Oh,
be
there he
mine
goes.
tonight. Walk through the wind, I'll take you in flight, darling. Be mine tonight and forever.
TK Adair says great song, and I definitely agree. Elaine Skolnick's like, yeah, I see it. So do I, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Denise, or excuse me, Dennis. Yes, Dennis. I'm sorry, my glasses are not working right now. Dennis has a couple of smiley faces. We love it. We love it.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Absolutely.
so I wrote this tune, right, and I put it on a cassette and I mailed it to Barry,
Hmm.
and not thinking anything. I mean, I'm like, he won't probably won't even listen to it, right? So 2 weeks later, I get a cassette back in the mail with a note. Joe, I really like it. He goes, I did a couple things. I hope you don't mind. I've changed some of the chords here and there. So what he did was he took the chorus and he superimposed these chords, which took the whole, because uh, the chorus was, be mine tonight. Yeah, something like that. He took it and went, be mine tonight. He just, he,
Yeah.
he lifted the whole thing up. So I was like, oh my God, this is so great, right? So anyway, we get back out on the road and we're in Las Vegas. And he says to me, write a chart on that tune. I want to demo it. So Deborah Bird is going to sing it. I said, okay, great. So I played piano. Ron Pedley played strings.
Mm-hmm.
And the band was fantastic. They were all great players.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Always.
Mark Levine, Vanessa. Hey, some like what memories. And so we did the demo like right on the stage at like I forget what hotel we were at the time, Desert Inn. I don't know.
Okay.
And came out fabulous, just fabulous. And so it went. We shared the copyright together.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it has never been released to my knowledge. Maybe someday. Maybe it'll be on a Hidden Gems or something, or maybe Barry will do something with it someday. But
I'd take
we
it as
still
a
talk
bonus
about
track, you know.
yeah, why
I'd
not?
take it as a bonus track. I wouldn't cry. No, it'd be great.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, that was a real highlight of that first tour, which ended in 1990. And he was like, "Okay, have a nice life," and I'm like, "What? That? Have a nice life? I just moved out to California. Oh boy, what do I do now?" Bought a house and
Mm-hmm.
um, kind of just picked up and said, "That's it. I got to be in California." So anyway, the next week, I get a call from Michael Bolton, who I toured with in '83. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
prior to Van um, and prior to my solo project, uh, Michael was opening up for Bob Seger, the Distance Tour, 1983. I'm going to backtrack a little bit.
Okay. Okay.
And he had just finished his first record on Columbia, and he wrote some of the songs with this lawyer. I forget his name, but anyway, he was a keyboard player, but he didn't want to go on the road. So all my friends from that area, from New Haven area, we all know who the good players are. They said, "No, you got to get Joey." So I wound up joining and getting on that tour, and we went out and traveled with. We opened up for Seeger for a while, and then we traveled with Michael, uh, Bobby Torello. You out there? Drum, fabulous. And we toured concert clubs in the states. Now this is 1983, so we were all across the states. We had a Winnebago we were traveling in. It wasn't top notch travel and stuff, but we were roughing it a little bit, but it was good. We had a great time with that, and so fast forward, Michael had all this success writing, and he called me, and I was like, oh my god, this is great. So we went to rehearsals, and we were going to open up for Kenny G. And Michael and Kenny had been doing some stuff. Kenny would go out, and Michael would come out and sing Georgia in the middle of a concert. So that was the kind of thing that was going to go on for this tour. So we get into rehearsals. We're rehearsing for 2-3 weeks. We're getting ready to go out. I get a call from one of the people that represent Barry, and they said to me, "Barry wants you to be musical director for his Showstoppers tour." And I was like, "Whoa, really? Oh boy!" Like,
Yeah, I can
wow.
imagine.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You just decide this, right? I mean, you couldn't have said anything, at the end of the tour or talk to me or whatever. I said, look, unfortunately, I'm getting ready to go on the road with, Michael Bolton, who's also from New Haven, not only a friend and, you know, I'm committed to his tour. I sincerely apologize, but I can't do it. I felt, well, I felt awful. I was like, here I had this great relationship, going with Barry, and but I just the ethic in me wouldn't allow me to, just say, okay, hey Mike, see ya, gotta go, Barry, bye.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I
And then who can trust you after that?
so then so that was that, and we had a great tour. So fast forward a couple of years, we're Michael's doing great now. His things are on the rise. In 1992, we have a break for about 4 months. So I don't know what got into me, but I was like, I'm gonna call Barry up, see how he's doing. I called him, and he said, Joe, how are you doing? I said, well, what's going on? Well, I'm getting ready to go to Southeast Asia. Do you want to come and conduct for me? And I was like, what? Yeah. I said, but I'm still kind of committed to Michael because we got this world tour going. I mean, he's huge now. I know that you know that. And he understood. He said, well, look, it come work with me, and if you want to stay, you stay, and if you need to leave, then you go. And I was like, that's really, really. I mean, that was such. For me, that was really like this guy is the real deal. I mean, for him to offer me a chance to work with him, even though I might leave, you know,
Mhm.
that spoke volumes to
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Uh, Kudos to Barry if you're out there listening, Barry. Love you. Um, and so anyway, we did the tour. It was great. I was conducting. We had orchestras in Japan and Southeast Asia.
Hmm.
It was a great tour. And then got home. We finished that, and Michael picked up, and I said, "Hey, I've gotta, I gotta go." So I think it was Steve Welsh came by. He
Hmm.
was his. I think Steve was his music director for quite a while after that, up until Ron took over in I think 2003. Ron Walters. Hey, Ron Walters.
Hey, Ron Walters. You're awesome.
I love you too, and I love all you Manilow people, all my band, Rosa Blatt, Stan Sargent. Uh, Let me go down the list: Mike Lent, Ron Pedley, the girls, Melanie, Kai, Sharon, YL, Russ McKinnon. I love you too, even though you're not with us anymore.
Oh,
Um,
Russ, we miss you.
yeah,
We
we're a
love the
family,
rest of you guys, but we miss you, Russ.
And don't forget my horn players. Hey, wait a minute, because I'm one of them. I'm the fourth horn player. Got Bill Baxter, Steve Baxter, no, uh, Glenn Berger, Charlie Peterson, yeah, and alumni. Well, we got the alumni too. We can talk about.
Oh
We
my.
got
Do we
Brandon
have
Beer,
time?
right?
Please go ahead. See how many you can quickly.
Oh, yeah, we can have an alumni uh, festival, right?
Right? Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, that'd be bigger than Bonnaroo. No,
well, it's
kidding.
great.
It's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So anyway,
a great idea.
so we keep going. So we do that. I go back with Michael.
Uh-huh.
Um, and then I stayed with Michael till like '98, and we had a good run.
Mm-hmm.
And after we had a little bit of a break, wasn't working as much, and then I got an offer to go conduct for Julio Iglesias to be his musical director. So I said to Michael, I said, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna do this, and so we parted ways. It was kind of sad in a lot of respects,
Mm-hmm.
but we did, and uh, I went did the Julio's thing for 2 or 3 years, and then I had in the interim between tours and stuff. I was working with a guy named David Guest who has passed away, and David was he was a promoter. He did a lot of public relations. He did a lot of PR for the Doobies. He did a lot of stuff in the business back in the day, and he put a lot of shows on, and he had a lot of memorabilia. He used to sell at his shows. He'd always put these stellar shows together. Oh, like, the third annual International Achievement in the Arts Awards, a spectacular night of film and music. I don't think it,
And that was like a David Guest production? Is that what I
yeah,
understand?
yeah.
Nice. Very
Is
nice.
that better?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And okay. So basically you have like on this event, oh my God. Okay, so so I was in charge. I was conducting, I was musical director. I had a whole orchestra,
Mm-hmm.
and I was contracting. I had a couple of good friends of mine helped me contract in LA. On this show, Shirley Bassey, Michael Bolton, Montserrat Caballé, Shirley Caesar, gospel, Petula Clark,
Mm-hmm.
Celine Dion, In Vogue, The Four Tops, David Gaines, Whitney Houston, Al Jarreau, Chaka Khan. What are you kidding me? Tony Martin,
Yeah. That's huge.
Johnny Mathis, Julia McGinnis, Monica, K.T. Oslin, Smokey Robinson, George Strait, Topol, Dionne Warwick, Denise Williams, Joe Williams, Trisha Yearwood.
Wow.
Hello?
Yeah.
I mean, I am not lying. I kid you not.
Nice. Star studded.
So I mean, so that's the kind of show he put on. It was like a circus. I mean, it's like, and then we did, and Whitney was his little girl. He loved Whitney, and she would always do the shows. Will Smith, Mariah Carey,
Very
this
nice.
Brandy, Bobby Brown, Sasha Distel, Michael McDonald,
So,
because he did promotion for Doobies and stuff. So he was really tight with them. Tito Puente, Linda Ronstadt, Phoebe Snow. Oh, we had Carol King, Stevie Winwood. Carol King, I love her. Love you, Carol King, out there. We did a show with her, and she called me, left a message. Joey, thank you so much. It was great working with you. Thanks for all the help on, I was like, I can't believe this. So I had to record it on like what were those tapes? The digital tapes? Dat tapes.
okay. Yeah.
Anyway, it's somewhere. But okay, so let's see. After being with Julio, David called me and he goes, "Look, we're putting on this big show, okay?"
Hmm.
And I was like, he says, "You got to get back here, you know." And I was like, "Okay." So and I had reached with the Julio thing. I was okay, yeah, maybe it's time for change. So I went back and we did some shows, and then he put together the Michael Jackson reunion 30th anniversary special.
Oh, that was a huge undertaking, wasn't it?
That was really big, and I was co-musical director on that with Greg Fillinganes, who was Michael's musical director for quite a while. And so that show was broken down between the guests that were honoring Michael, and then part two was the Jackson Five and Michael, and part three was Michael Jackson's with his band. So I did the first two parts, conducting and arranging for these artists.
Hmm.
And here's a little something from that show.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that's
Wow.
visible or not.
Yeah. Yep.
So the artists that honored him were Mark Anthony, Ray Charles, Destiny's Child, Deborah Cox, Gloria Estefan, Billy Gilman, Whitney Houston, James Ingram, the Jacksons, Quincy Jones, the Legends of Jazz, Al Jarreau, Les McCann, Herbie Mann, David Fathead Newman, Jimmy Smith, Clark Terry, Cassandra Wilson, Liza Minnelli, Monica, Maya, NSYNC, Jill Scott, Shaggy featuring Rick Rock Ducent, and Vaughn, Slash, Britney Spears,
Oh, wow.
Tamia, Usher, Radiga. And so that was serious.
Well,
And
tell me what that was like, because we were chatting a little bit about it before, and it's like there were two different symphonies that you had to deal with.
we had one big orchestra,
Okay.
four strings, the whole bit, and a big vocal chorus section. Well, a bunch of singers from New York, top-notch singers. And we had two different rhythm sections. So what they called the the World Events Orchestra and Chorus. That was my band,
Hmm.
uh, with Michael Boddicker, famous keyboard player now. Hi, Michael, love you. Uh, and Michael and we did a bunch of shows with David. He was also really so great. I mean, he played on all of. Michael did like every record that you can remember.
Hmm.
He was programming keyboards or playing keyboards on. He's just fabulous.
Right.
And so our band, um, we we played for all the artists leading up to until Michael took over. When the Jackson Five came on, the second rhythm section jumped in, and then then they were playing with the orchestra. That's when uh, Greg Gaines took over, and I left. But it was a heavyweight show. I mean, we were at
Yeah.
Madison Square Garden. It was right before 9/11, so we did 9/7 and 9/10,
Oh, wow.
two shows. And the way they built the stage was there was the big stage on the floor,
Mm-hmm.
and then they had another level up on top, and that's where the orchestra was. Was the orchestra spread out with the rhythm section? And I was up on top with a headset. It was a TV special. It was CBS. It was one of the biggest grossing TV specials. It was on VH1
Mm-hmm.
uh, also afterwards. So the show was just it was intense because it was one act after another, and I got a chance to rub elbows with Luther Vandross. I mean, I sat Luther sitting next to me at the piano, and we're working on an arrangement. And he goes, "Well, why don't we slow it down here?" I was like, "Yeah, that sounds great." So we started working that out. And it was real memorable. I mean, these people
Mm-hmm.
that you have so much respect for. I talked on the phone with Quincy Jones. I mean, who gets a chance to talk to him? Well, of course.
Well, you know what? I gotta be honest. I'm kind of the same in the same situation right now. I mean, here I am talking to you.
Ah, well, I've been lucky enough to touch with these great people and be in their presence and just try to do the best that I can as the humble musician that I am. And you do what you do.
Well, we certainly enjoy very much the benefit of that. We've got about 10 minutes left to go, so I wanna kind of focus in on a little bit more of your music, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Does that work? Um, so I know that you've got a number of albums. Which is your most recent?
The most recent one is called "Celebrate Your Life."
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what's your favorite song from that album?
Celebrate Your Life. Hmm. Well, I have a few favorites, but one of my most favorite songs is from the record before that. It's called "Moving at the Speed of Love."
Ooh.
That's the CD. Yeah, it's the message is really great. There's "Celebrate Your Life." The title track was about. It's kind of sad in a way because a friend of ours, our neighbor, moved into our neighborhood. She was a musician. Her name is Jana, and she played trumpet and piano, and she did a lot of stuff in Europe. She was on the jazz pools. She led a big band. She made the Playboy jazz pools in the day.
Oh, really?
And yeah, and she moved into our neighborhood then about a year later, and we got to know her very well. And she got sick and she passed away. So I dedicated that song to her, "Celebrate Your Life," and that's that's a really nice tune. Uh, Also like "Perfect Day." It's a really nice tune from that record. But going back to "Moving at the Speed of Love," I think that's kind of like how we should live our life.
Yeah.
Love's what it's all about. And so I could actually play that track and maybe sing along with it if you'd like.
That would be
Would you like to hear that?
that would be absolutely stellar. I think everybody would agree with me. Yes. Would it take much to cue that up?
I think so. We'll see how this mixes in. Hopefully it'll sound good over the airwaves.
Sounds good already.
Keep on moving, moving at the speed of love. Keep on moving, moving at the speed of love. Let's journey to a world we all know, where healthy vibes, freedom flow. Hear the laughter that fills the air, creative people everywhere. Let's make a difference, don't delay. Inspiration's what we need today. Keep on moving, moving at the speed of love. Moving at the speed of love. Keep on moving, moving at the speed of love. Love is what we need to share. It's the reason why we are here. Let's bond together, keep our sight. Time to step into the light. It's a simple thing, everybody knows. No rocket science, just smile and let it show. Keep on moving, moving at the speed of love. Moving at the speed of love. Moving at the speed of love. Keep on moving at the speed of love. Moving at the speed of love. Come on, break it down, shake it up, keep moving at the speed of love. Break it down, shake it up, keep moving at the speed of love. Break it down, shake it up, keep moving at the speed of love. Break it down, keep on moving, keep moving at the speed of love. It's time to think about what we need and move on. 'Cause it's a simple life that we lead. Let's get our groove on. Don't make no difference, day or night. What we feel in our hearts is right. Keep on moving, moving at the speed of love. 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 Keep on moving, moving at the speed of love. Yeah. Keep on moving, moving at the speed of love. Keep on moving at the speed of love. All right. I'm having a problem hearing you. I don't know why. Gail? For some reason I'm not hearing you.
I'm so sorry. I hit my hit my mute. My bad. So we've got feedback from our watchers and listeners here. Elaine is very happy. Yes. She also wants to know if your music is on Spotify.
There is. It is on Spotify.
Awesome.
Yes.
And I know it's also on iTunes, and some of it can be also gotten at your website, JoeyMelotti.com.
Yep.
Correct? Awesome. So Helene's saying, yay, Joey. Elaine is, I love it. And Sharon's telling us a little story about you playing softball with Michael Bolton's team and how he used to bring in ringers because he didn't like to lose.
Oh, you're not kidding. Yeah. We had a lot of fun with that. Met Joe DiMaggio actually at
Did
one
you?
game. Yeah, yeah, he had a very special. Well, we used to play for charities. We'd go into a city, and they would have a game. Our band, and then it used to just be the band, and we
Hmm.
used to go in and play like softball teams. And then Michael was like, "No, no, we got to bring in some guys." Yeah, so
Well,
yeah,
that must have been fun.
a lot of fun. A
That
lot of
must
fun.
have been fun. Kay Hall, Lisa Kashani. See, I just want to give shout outs to everybody else. Rosie Kinker says, great song, Joey. Thank you
Oh,
all for showing up. Ladies and gentlemen, we could not have done this without you, and we're so happy to have an audience for Joey to play for. Um, his lovely wife, Valerie, is probably very relieved to have him out of the house a little bit later tonight.
yeah, he's doing just fine without me.
Oh, I know how much she loves you. That's the only reason I joke like that, because you guys you're one of those couples that it's really nice to see together, because the smiles when you see each other's face are genuine.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
You're
Well,
welcome.
we're going on. October will be 16 years.
That's
Yeah,
beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful.
thank you.
Alrighty. Excellent. Thank you so much for being here. Dana says, great night, Joey. Thank you. And
Oh,
from all of us, thank you
okay.
very, very much for doing this, for entertaining us for an hour on a Friday night. Um, can't thank you enough for allowing me to be the one to host you doing this. It's
Oh,
been an honor and a pleasure, my friend. And if there's anything else that I
yeah.
can do for you, let me know. If there are any other musicians in Vegas that are not working that would like to be, please reach out to me. I'd like to do this more often, and I'd like to do it for you if you'll let me. So thanks very, very much. And do you have, during the daytime show, I always ask for final thoughts from our my guests. So final thoughts and maybe some final notes from Joey to send us on our way this Friday evening.
Thanks everybody for coming on and you know listening and hearing some of my antics on the road. And just remember, you got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. And we'll see you again soon.
Beautiful. Thanks, Joey. Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone. Bye bye.
You got a friend in me.